Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining me for the new people here. I'm thinking about today, the Tower of Babel, and let's ask ourselves some questions for each other and participate in my thoughts. I'll give you my thoughts on this, and maybe you're like-minded or you feel like this in your heart too about things that I'm talking about, like pertaining to God or the scriptures that have been twisted and all that. But I'll get there. I'll light a cigarette and we'll just chat about it. I had it was a Greek companion lesson from Old Boy, if you're familiar with that channel. It's not too late to pop in and start taking those lessons. He's got videos from the very beginning of the book, and he goes through all of it. And there's also a dojo that they have that they meet on Saturdays. I haven't participated in that yet. I'm going slow. I'll probably be doing this starting over again next year because I had so many irons in the fire. I knew I wasn't going to be able to dive into it wholeheartedly right now. But I'm getting the concept of how words come together. I'm starting to recognize vowels and endings and what's a verb or a noun, and I mean, um, things like, which is really tripping me out, but it's like so intricate, is how there can be like a middle voice in a word, in a language, and like secondary type input in there. We're just learning about this, but it's so cool. It's so intricate. There's no way another person from another language could, if you didn't grow up speaking this ancient Greek and you came in from somewhere else, you might have picked up on some of it, but there's no way the deepest concept of this language that these people who call themselves biblical scholars and whatnot, Hebrew reading, and I've read Greek too and Latin to be able to understand these things, but this is wow. There's not that people don't have enough um drive to dive in deep in this, what it entails, what it takes to get to the bottom of the truth of all these things. So, and I'll give you my thoughts on Babylon. And I didn't realize how anti Old Testament I actually was until just about recently. I mean, I always knew something was wrong with the scriptures because I was taught, you know, that way when I was young. So there's by experts, by priests, Jesuits, the Masonic connections. So I knew all that and how religion was hijacked and all that stuff. But just these little um things that people spit out or something, like God confused the languages, because people were naughty, basically. Really? God did that, huh? It wasn't some wizards or sorcerers in cloaks um trying to deceive human beings. It's always the creator did it, right? I just never, it never sat right with me, you know, all that. Yeah, they were confused about the language when they tried to change the text because, and I've proven that a lot of people have, when it was changed, the chronology of the whole thing, even changing the calendars, people think, well, that's not a very big deal. It's a very big deal when you go from a 30-day calendar on the lunar cycle, which is a shar, to calling it a year. That's a vast difference, you know, and keeping people out of time with things that would happen in the stars, and even things that are foretold by the sky, by astrology and astronomy, you know. But they started deceiving people um, hundreds of years after the actual scriptures were written, and I am so out to prove that. I mean, there's other people that are doing that, and there's no debate. The only thing these people who don't want the truth to come out, the only thing they can do is ignore us. They can't debate us. They could try, but they're not going to go learn ancient Greek to be able to even have a say in the whole thing. That nullifies their claims right there. If you're not intelligent enough to go pick up another language and have a voice in the conversation, then you need to shut it down. It's as simple as that, and leave it to the experts, leave it to the people that have that drive, that scholarly, truthful drive for other people. That's what I really detest about anybody that would say they are a biblical scholar. No, you're not. No, you are not. You're the establishment's scholar. You're a Zionistic scholar for Judah, basically. Just being a little smartassy, but you know what I mean. It does bother me because I've been doing a lot of studying all my life, decades now, from 12 on up, 15 totally serious, and I haven't stopped, you know. It's not that I'm learning something new. I'm learning the proof, you know. So, I mean, I saw it with my own eyes on different documents and books and things. It's just getting it out to the public so they know what's true and what's false, you know. And when we have people in establishments and these institutes that are making money off or um, backing the system, their agendas, and it's all about money and control, you know. So the people that actually want to take that control away from them, they're trying to hide us and keep us shut down. The more people that are going to talk about the truth, the more we're going to get the word out. It's not that you don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's like, okay, so their God is not your God. Well, it's not my God either. They can have that thing because my God doesn't kill people. My God doesn't punish you when you don't do things just the right way, you know? I mean, okay, if you're a child and you need to be put in your room because you're acting wild or something, yeah, I get that. But these are adults, and well, I believe hell is what you make out of your life, good or bad. They're like, and it says what? Heaven's supposed to come down to earth. Yeah, we can make this a more heavenly place. That part of the scripture is absolutely true. That energy. But it also could be hell for other people, depending on your views and your outlooks. I mean, I'll never promote anything that's going to harm you or other people or take a family out of context. A nuclear family, the real thing, that type of stuff. If you're not harming kids or trying to deceive little people, especially little people, but anybody, that's not cool. But as long as you're doing your own thing and you're not harming other people, and it's not like even If you do something crazy, say if you stand on your head naked out in your yard, but you live in the woods, well, if you get bit by bugs, that's your problem. But you're not in the middle of town square doing it in front of little people. You see what I'm saying? Do whatever you want. Who cares? Would I love you less? Nope. But if you were in a city doing that in front of little people, I'd knock you off your head. Absolutely. And throw a bag on you to cover you up. So that's where I stand on all that. But going back to the Tower of Babel, when these God, it's made it where if you even talk about a bloodline, whether you're related to them or not, they're going to label you anti something. No, I'm anti liar. I'm anti thief. When these people that weren't of the original scriptures bloodline, I mean, like the library in Alexandria, wasn't in Jerusalem. Them people there don't have medical documents. They don't have a history until they took somebody else's. That's what we're out to prove. It's like whatever. So, and it's true. When it says right in Britannica um dictionary that oh they added vowels and took some away to be able to coin terms. What? So you got to take away from somebody else's language and the original meaning of that, or add something, which I've explained this to people. I read it to you what they actually do with their balls. I've been screaming about this for a long time to coin terms. Oh, wow. I'm going to coin a term. These motherfucking liars need to go down. They need to be jailed. They're actually a threat to humanity. That's a fact. I've always been a total humanitarian. That's what I'm all about. And injustice, when something's unjust in life, I'm a bulldog against it. And I don't care who they think they are. That's why I even divorced my own parents. I did not agree. I didn't want anything to do with their bullshit once I found out what their bullshit was, you know. So if it's unacceptable to somebody that take it and shove it type of attitude from going to could have had anything I wanted. And I still do in my own way, though. That's what you get for doing things the right way. But anyway, um, to from going to that and out on my own as a teenager and just because I took them to court. That's how serious I am about all this. You do not act like scum in the world to other people and think you're going to get away with it. Because sooner or later, it's all going to come crashing down on you, one way or another. So, what I'm saying about not throwing the baby out with the bathwater is understand if you're like of like a Bacchic mindset, if you were more um what some people would consider uh like satanic. What if you're going to go to a party and dance, are you in a frenzy? you know are you manic? you know if you like to spar, or if you're a martial artist, does that make you like manic or barbarian or satanic? If you don't agree that you should turn the other cheek because you're sick of having your ass beat, um and I'm teaching my offsprings not to turn the other cheek because they've got hurt doing that. So, is that retribution for yourself? Well, eye for an eye. Isn't that how it all started? When did that change? You know? Speaking of fighting, and I can't falter, and I am so anti-war, but I did the same type of thing um, with my trying to go in the Air Force, and that's what started the whole fight with the people that raised me. Um, not let me do that. I almost did twice, and then the second time, my oldest son was just a baby, and I couldn't trust leaving him with the dad after a really horrible incident. So it's like, and it was foiled maybe on purpose because I didn't trust that I could be a conscientious observer. And that's where my fears lie for my middle granddaughter is now a cadet. She's junior Air Force, you know, and she does look pretty sharp in her uniform, but yeah, I don't think women should fight. I don't like the fact that I was forced to and made into a warrior um all my life, and I don't appreciate it. You know, some cultures may. I'm not one of them, you know. And if you have never really had any protection for yourself, it's probably a good idea to learn some kind of self-defense. So yeah, I can't fault her for it, but it is heartbreaking on another level. I wanted the education, and I'm sure that's where her heart lies too. Um, because she is an honor student, so yeah, she's smart and strong. And first time I seen her walking on her hands, it's like, yeah, that's definitely an offspring. Springy thingy. Yeah, how cute. But yeah, kids should be taught some kind of self-defense, but I don't believe in military forces. I've always been one that's screaming about localize our governments and keep our army where our army belongs. Let the United Nations go into desperate countries. That's why we support them. And all this war machine money making bullshit is all it ever has been. You can look back in history and see that there's cultures that would not war, would not fight, and the people of the Bible are not those people. The people of the Bible are the ones that do war and fight and kill and move into countries and murder people. And it's never changed. It's always been the same. Yeah, they've had people after them. I wonder why that is. Canaanites, cannibals, Cain and Abel, cannibal, you know. Anyway, it's true. Who sacrifices, you know? Probably the people that got ate were the ones that were the sacrifice. Or a dude goes, "Yeah, if you help me win this war, um, I'll give you the first member of my household." He's talking to Satan, you know, that comes, or the devil comes out of, or God. God. He's talking to God. When he gets done with the war and he won, his daughter comes out, his firstborn, who was the sacrifice. Thank you, God. You know, anyway. These little stories that people overlook in the Bible, it's like, what? Where is your in head? So don't throw away God, just know who the real God is, that the imposter has been in place. People say they're waiting for Satan to come. What? Ask any little 3-year-old, they'll tell you who Satan is. They'll show you, you know, literally. It's just we don't throw away our integrity when we find these things that have been twisted in its lies. Now we're pulling the truth out so we can show the scriptures for what they really are, and who did what to who and why. You know, those types of things that are documented. That they thought they burnt all it, but they were hidden. And that's part of what the Masons, not the Freemasons. but the Masons and the Jesuits carry that knowledge. The Rosy Cross, the Rosicrucians. Skull and Bones are, um, they depict the resurrection of the male and female spirit within mankind. And they play their little games like their ceremonial bullshit. These affiliated groups have been infiltrated, the same with all religions. That's why Satan hates religion. I'm not advocating Satan, and I'm not a Satan apologist. I'm not a Christian apologist. I'm a person that loves everybody, not on the level of like you can do anything you want and I'm going to love you just the same as somebody else that is not acting shady. I mean, if you're acting shady, I will not love you as much as the one that's being a nice person. You know, I still have a certain amount of human love. It's, love your enemies. Nah, that's going too far, mofo. You know, pray for them. Yeah, I did that. No, that's enough of that. Once is enough. That type of feeling. Yeah. It's time for things to change. This has been over 3,000 years of this shit that people have thought, except for in ancient Greece, people had thought that their God was going to condemn them to everlasting hell if you did something wrong, you know. So, and that's why a lot of people are rebelling because these scriptures have been twisted, and they're thinking, well, God, He doesn't love us anyway, but He does. It's just that He's pissed off too. The way things are, He's mad at the people that did it. You know, that's the true Christ spirit, the Christ spirit that will not hurt anybody, but you better watch out academically if we can castrate you. No offense, you know. Oh, now I'm acting all like a rabbi. No, no, and no. Yeah, I'm good. So I think some of you caught that joke. That's a bad one. Yeah. But them scriptures, all that stuff happening to kids and people in there, and they're just like, oh, this is normal, you know? It's not normal, you know? I don't believe with like the Crowley outlook, like do what you will shall be the whole of the law type of thing. Do unto others is a good thing. You know, and we wouldn't, like I said yesterday, even need any kind of incarceration for people in an ideal society, but you know, it's the the biggest warmongers are the Christians. What does that tell us? You know, you don't get these. Well, there's crazy people in there that are in there just to kill. I've met them. Doug's met them. You know, they loved it. If they were in war, they were in their heyday. Is that satanic? But you know what they do? They pray to God before they go out on the battlefield. What God are they praying to? They're not saying, Hail Satan, before they go out and spill blood. They're asking for God's protection in all that. That's the warped and twisted mindset that I could never deal with. These are the types of questions and things that I would broach in my confirmation class that I couldn't deal with. I didn't understand it. There's nothing to understand. It was hijacked, you know? No, a loving God doesn't act like that. Anyway, I do have, I think I told you, another, more Greek tonight on Lady Babylon. That'll be good. You know, the more we learn about these things, the more we can uncover the truth. And, it's like I tell people, if you haven't checked out Jason from Archaics here on YouTube, it's called Archaics. Um, his chronology, his history, his language skills, reading it, um, excuse me, there's so much proof out there for people. They won't debate people. They won't debate people like Dr. Hillman, for instance, uh, because it's easier to tell somebody, oh, well, you're crazy, or um, I got one that said she couldn't hear me. Could you please just turn up your volume? I don't have any microphones. I'm spending my money on a greenhouse. Um, we're not rich. Hope my videos help you in some way. If not, I'm really sorry, for that. If you can't hear, may I suggest hearing aids? No, there's one channel. I can't listen to him. I enjoy his intellect, but he's usually sitting away from where he's filming, it sounds like, and I just can't hear him at all, even though I turn it up and I have excellent hearing, really extraordinary hearing. So maybe whoever wrote me um, doesn't, isn't, doesn't have that, or could have problems. Like Doug is hard of hearing and he can hear my videos. So I don't know what this person, if she really, and I know there was one part in a video that I was talking about something and there was like one sentence. Think I had my head down or something that a person couldn't hear. If that happens, please excuse me. Pardon me. You know, anyway, it's always something, ain't it? So, can't turn it up? Okay, I can. But I'll just stay here for now. Cheers, everybody. And somebody else wrote on my when I was talking about suffering fools, and I'm always screaming about the dark cabal, and it's like, oh, it's probably, or him, whoever, whatever, said to me, it's only a fool that thinks everybody else is foolish. I didn't say everybody. Where are you coming from? Are you from America? Do we actually speak the same language? There's nowhere in that whole video I included everybody. I wouldn't do that to the intelligent people out there. I'm talking to people in particular that are dumbasses, total idiots, lazy, insulin, you know, that type. So, yeah, I think I've said enough. So, anyway, back to one more thing on that Tower of Babel. It was changed intentionally. I've read it. There's a video that says why and when the scriptures were changed by the Jews and proven with the bloodlines and the migration of them. their names, their banners, and all that, their colors of that, their family crest, the things that I studied, these people cannot hide. They can play games like you could get married and pretend you're another bloodline or something like that. But the vibe of the electricity coming through the keyboards tells me everything I need to know anyway, you know. So, okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Peace. Just a minute. And love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.